So this slide is showing the treatment. As I told you that this is the receptor tyrosine kinase, and when some monoclonal antibodies they are attached, so the ligand is not going to attach. When the ligand is not going to attach on the receptor tyrosine kinases will not be able to transfer the signal inside the cell. When no signal is given to the cell will not be dividing, cell will not be growing, so there will be no cancer. So this is one of the treatment that is given to the cancer patients, that just stop the receptor. So what is the side effect of this treatment? Anybody knows the side effect of this treatment? So I will ask that what is the side effect of this treatment? Which treatment? Blocking of the receptor tyrosine kinase through monoclonal antibodies. Okay, I will ask you this question in our discussion and question answer session. Please prepare yourself for the answers. Okay, another target is the to tyrosine kinase inhibitors. You see the tyrosine kinase, it is responsible for the autophosphorylation. So even then, if you are not going to use antibodies, and you can again use another treatment plan, then that is to block the autophosphorylation. When the autophosphorylation is blocked, then there will be no further signal transduction within the cell, and again the cell will be saved for further division, for further cancer, for further growth. This regime is also used for the anti-cancer purposes. So the approved drugs for the breast cancer is the Herceptin. Herceptin is a monoclonal antibody, and the extracellular domain of the HER2 protein, HER2 positive breast cancer patients, that has been shown to the increase survival rate at so they are given this antibody, and this antibody will block the receptor tyrosine kinases that are responsible for the overgrowth of the breast cells. So these antibodies will block the way of the ligands to bind to those cells, and in a way in this way they can stop the cells to divide indefinitely. Okay, and another Erbitux, this medicine, and then the Vectibix, these are also medicines of the monoclonal antibodies origin, and they also they are also used for the treatments for the metastatic colorectal cancers. Okay, and but all of them, they have side effects. Why? This is the question. Why they have so many side effects? So you have to tell me in our question answer sessions. Okay, so I think that's it about the receptor tyrosine kinases, and we will see the next part of our lecture. So this is our last part of the chapter 14, the hormonal signaling. That hormones, we have lots of hormones in our body and their functions and classification. We already have so many knowledge about them. And hormones, they are biochemical messengers. They enter the systems, circulatory system, and they affect the target organs, plants as well as animals. They can secrete the chemical signals that are called as hormones. So plants and animals, both of them, they are known to have these hundreds of different hormones, right? And endocrine means inside, and exocrine means outside. So ducts are present in the exocrine glands for the transport of the secretions, while the ductless glands, these are the endocrine glands, and they will directly released in the blood, and through blood they will reach their destination and cause the response. Okay, these are different positions in our body. The glands: hypothalamus gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, ovaries, testes, pituitary gland, and the master gland is the pituitary gland, and it plays an important role, and it controls almost everything as far as the hormones are concerned. Okay, and these hormones, they play so many functions in our body. They perform the regulatory functions. Some of them, they are steroids. Some are hydrophobic molecules. They can target the intracellular receptors like the steroid molecules, and some of them, they are involved with the energy and insulin. Yes, they are involved with the receptor tyrosine kinases, and ethylene regulates ripening of the fruit. All of these are the examples of the importance of the hormones. So here you see the ethylene. It is used artificially by the farmers, and they use it for the ripening of the fruits when they are not present on the trees. Okay, so one is the natural ripening. They never prefer for the natural ripening, because if they are ripened on the plants, on the trees, then they will take a lot of, they will be destroyed till the time they reach the market. So that's why they pluck the unripened fruit, and then convert it, then pack it, and put the ethylene bags within the packets, within the boxes of the fruits. Similarly, we have mango season. During the mango season, you will see that you will find some packed packets, small packets of ethylene within that box, and that chemical is used to artificially ripen the fruits. But it is toxic. It can cause harms. It can cause cancer. But this practice is going on, and nobody is paying heed to it. So these are some of the examples, some of the endocrine hormones. I hope you already know all these, so I will not go into the details of all these. So endocrine hormones, they travel through the bloodstream, and they have the contact receptors in the tissues throughout the body, right? And the tissue that is specifically affected by a particular hormone is called the target of the hormone. Okay, so how they are stimulated. The stimulation of the glycogen breakdown. The glycogen, you see, it is a storage of glucose molecules, and the glucose molecules, whenever they are needed in urgency, what will happen, and that this adrenal gland, it will secrete epinephrine, and this epinephrine, on one way it will go towards the heart, and on the other way it will go towards the liver, and the liver cell is going to break down the glycogen, and the glucose will be there, and the heart cell, the heart rate, the heartbeat will be increased, and both processes are needed for an emergency process. For example, if there is an animal after a human being, and a human being needs to run at any cost to save his or her life, so he or she needs glucose. So this glucose will be immediately available by this process. So this process is it is activated through the cyclic AMP, and then you see the activate and the inactive things are already present within the cell. They need just one signal, and then once that signal is there, whole cascade will be completed in milliseconds, just milliseconds. Here you see the ATP is there. When ATP is produced, the phosphorylated kinase enzyme becomes active, and this enzyme is going to generate the glucose 1-phosphate, and this glucose 1-phosphate in turn will give rise to the glucose. And so here in this slide you can see that the insulin, what will do, insulin will stop glucose to getting out of the cell, because the glucose level in the blood, if it is high, why it is high, because the cells are secreting glucose inside, and inside the cells, and they're transporting it outside in the blood. So when there is a level in the blood, that level is very dangerous for the cells. So what will happen, insulin will be released. Insulin is going to block the gate here responsible for the transport of glucose outside the cell. Right here, this gate is known as GLUT4. So this gate will be closed, and insulin will perform its functions. Okay, so insulin, these are different functions that perform. Some of the functions they are stopped, some of them and they are started through insulin. And these are steroids. I have shown many times in these slides some of the cytosolic receptors responsible for